Yeah, same issue as last time. It's because things hecked up.
Let me know when they can hear you and therefore the music.
They can already hear us.
Hello! Apologies for our audio issues, but we're back. It's the Stormy Dragon Tavern, and after far too long, we are playing The Adventures of the Gloved Molotov crew. In the flippin' Stars Without Number system, I'm very excited. I'm going to tone down the music ever so slightly, just to like vibe in the background, get to hang out. Is everybody excited to play?
Yeah.
Not
Sure.
after that music.
Touche.
Oh, yes. Okay. I'm going to cut the music. One thing I will say before we begin.
Viewers, I'm commonly known as the one who hates any themes of music or any...
You're really quiet. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, can't hear you.
Oh, never mind. It's all good.
There we go.
Pretty sure he was being smothered.
Oh dear.
Ah,
So
I see.
just before we begin, as a disclaimer to viewers and also to my players, one of the reasons that like initially that we weren't able to run a game for a bit is because I had COVID. I am still recovering from that, and inevitably these delightful idiots are going to make me laugh. That is going to make me cough. So fair warning, I will enter into unfortunately timed coughing fits. Can't do much about it. So, does anybody remember what happened last time we played?
I cut a flea in half.
Yeah,
Stuff and things.
I
Duff.
remember.
You leveled a
Awkward.
cannon at half a fleet and fired it.
No, that was the session before.
Yes,
Oh, really? Am I
we were
behind?
jumping to a new system to refuel.
Yes, indeed.
I think activating my flashing light on my little thing has just completely screwed up my computer.
Oh no! Classic.
Oh, we got
So-
a reroll.
Okay.
Thank you,
yeah,
Kit.
yeah. I'm adding it
Thanks.
in right now.
Heck yeah, thank you. Wait, is it a play reroll or a me
It's a
reroll?
player reroll.
Oh.
Don't you get too excited.
I want more rerolls!
What do you mean? You have so
Okay.
many.
I have like 2.
Yeah, I love how you do your rerolls, Zoe. It's like, look, a life or death situation for my player,
Oops,
and they passed.
I didn't update.
Do it
that.
again!
This hasn't had the consequence I want. Do it again.
Yes. Anyway, when last we saw the party, they had just committed a big old boom.
Spaceship slice.
Bishop slice. Captain Lachlan Lockie Cooper at the helm of the very intimidatingly named ship Blossom.
Awesome.
Commander and the leader Bubbles.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
That's all good. You used the single shot worth of energy contained within the Blossom to slice through the majority of the Papadias fleet that had been sitting in orbit around Yakootah. Upon doing this, you flew the Blossom closer to Harbona, picked up the Milan and her new contingent of crew and NPC buddies, and then departed for the system of 0009. Nolasco. According to all charts and conventional knowledge available to the crew, the system is abandoned after a conflict forced the settlers to leave behind the only habitable planet in the system. So, away you jump, and you have 2 days of time and drive space before you will arrive in that destination. The last thing that we did in the session was had a very nice heart-to-heart between Lockie and Tazi, where Lockie very valiantly decided to take an important component out of his favorite weapon, the Vesuvius, to help Tazi realize a more stable connection between her and the fractured virtual psyche of Darius.
I'm gonna hope that, like, Charles never knows you're doing that.
Oh, here we go.
Activating that part was killing him.
Well,
So continuously doing it, he's going to kill Darius.
You don't know that.
Hey, you know what else is killing someone? That fucking bracelet.
My bracelet alone. It's a fashion accessory.
Yeah, fashion accessory.
So, I'm going to shift us over to the all decks view of the Milan, and I will ask y'all a question.
Yep.
What do you intend to do with the 2 days time that you have on board the ship before you arrive in your destination?
I do believe we left off where Catalina was about to go talk to the collision of worlds.
Yes. That is going to be absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, I have to pee because I drank too much. So you can think about what that's going to be like while I relieve myself. I'll be right back.
Unexpected suspense.
Oh my god.
Hey, Lucky.
I am on a different ship.
Oh, why are you on a different ship?
Because I needed to talk to Tazi.
Why am I not? Ship? Why?
Like, I kind of want it to just like I just want to play pranks on like members of the people who aren't like members of the immediate crew. Like just it's
We
going
can't make them hate us immediately, God.
No, I'm not going to do anything too bad. You know how there's that one nude Pimbot going around?
All
Yeah.
of their toilets are going to
just
talk to them.
everyone, I just want everyone to just go about their normal day, yeah? And that one random, like, engineer or cleaner to just go into one of the rooms and just have a disco ball and disco lights and disco music with a dancing naked Pim, and then the door would shut.
As long as the disco ball is hanging off his junk.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it's got to have like that song from Little Nicky, that just so they can be like, what the fuck?
I need to build me a phase rifle.
You are a phase rifle.
A phaser rifle.
I'll rifle your phase.
Ooh. Don't threaten me with a good time.
I like when you
I
talk
approve.
to me.
I approve all of this except the location of the disco ball.
Oh wait, you were listening? Oh.
Yes! Wireless
Well,
headphones! It's a new era. Okay, so we are bringing the camera down on deck 3 as Catalina has to walk into a room that contains her actual father and her surrogate father.
What could possibly go wrong?
Hello, daddies.
Who else is in here?
There is a Harbonian engineer and one of many Pims.
I see. Sorry, I'm performing windshield wiping.
Oh, good. I don't think Catalina's original theme is going to suit this conversation. It's a bit too much. It's a bit too solemn.
Oh god.
How about this? Yeah, I'm okay with this.
Alrighty, okay. So Catalina is going to... are these doors?
Yeah.
I totally forgot that. I
They've
presume
been
she knows
doors
that
entire
they're
time.
up the top end here.
How would you know that?
I can hear their voices. Remember, they were arguing.
Yes, they were arguing.
Yeah,
Okay,
they were arguing.
time
I'll
to-
just turn the light on real quick.
Das Vidanya, comrade. I am Russian, and I am slightly different. Hang on. I need to find the.
Das Vidanya. I am
Ah.
Russian.
I need to find the voices.
Welcome, Nordic Friedrichsland.
Hoity-toity-toity.
Hoity-toity. Now I'm Welsh.
Fill the potatoes.
Oh
Now
my
I'm
God.
kind of Irish.
How do you know?
Come to Ireland.
Hoity toity, I'm stereotypical.
Wait, terrible.
Aussie mum.
My apologies.
Oh god, I am, yes.
Off to a great start. Just roll snake eyes.
Mhm. So, Catalina, you gonna open the door?
She takes a big deep breath and goes, what could possibly go wrong? You know, facetiously. Opens the door and just kind of stands in the doorway and watches them for a second.
And your mother!
She just like leans against the door frame, trying to act nonchalant, not announcing her presence at all.
Your presence is noted pretty immediately because the door cracked open, kind of like at the dramatic climax of Felix's verbal berating of Ivan. So like, Felix is like inches from Ivan's face, finger up, pointed, nostrils flared angrily, and then like, as soon as he's done talking, the door goes, and there you are, just like jauntily leaning, watching, and the two of them more or less maintain their positions, but their eyes both move over at the same time and meet yours.
She just raises her eyebrows at them. Are they speaking Russian, by the way?
No. Oh, actually, no. Ivan is Russian.
Yeah, they're both Russian.
Yeah, yes, yeah, so that would have been in Russian, yes.
She just like raises her eyebrows and goes, Papa, I never thought you were so rude. She's grinning like a fool at this point. She's clearly like bullshitting.
He says, I learn new things every day, Catalina! And he just like turns, becomes incredibly friendly, moves forward and goes to like pick you up and spin you around in a big bear hug.
She lets him.
After like
She'll hug him back, like, you know.
after going full on 720 with you in the air and your legs kind of kicking out behind you, he will put you back down, but with you in between him and Ivan, and we'll then just hold on to your shoulders and say, I am so glad that you are okay.
Duh. Oh, right. It is, for you it has been, how many months? Doesn't matter.
4
It
has been 4 months. You said, oh no, it's okay, Papa. I just going to go away for a bit. It's fine. And then not see you for 4 months.
Okay, but there was space-time displacement. It was a week for us.
That is a likely story, Catalina.
No, it was weak. You know, like, oh, I was going to show you. Oh.
Catalina, why haven't you finished your vegetables? I'm sorry, Papa. It was a space-time distortion.
She like whacks him, like whacks his shoulder.
The telephone
Papa!
account created by the. What are you speaking? Are you speaking Russian?
Yes.
Duh.
Catalina, I had no idea that your uncleanliness was genetic.
What are you? Excuse me,
Exhibit
Pip?
A, Ivan's. Exhibit B, Felix. It's like looking at yin and yang.
I'm gonna start heading towards the workshop. So
Okay.
at
That's
some
fine.
point I'll hit that.
Okay, good to know.
Pim, that's rather insulting. I like to think that I am much more tidy than my papa.
I'm going to drag a finger across the top of the workbench that Felix has been using.
There is a tangible layer of a combination of dust and that really rather good lubricant that is actually just tiny ball bearings.
I'm going to show the finger to her. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, does my bedroom or my workshop look like this? No.
Uploading photos of Catalina's laundry.
That really good lubricant that's made of ball bearings is actually glass, and if you breathe that in, you've got guaranteed silicosis, just so everyone's aware.
Okay,
Okay.
cool. But I'm
Yeah.
a robot and I don't have lungs, so I think I'm fine.
I've had it on my fingers a few times. It wasn't great.
Catalina says, "Hey, that's my laundry. I mean, like, oh, look, okay, I have a little bit of a wardrobe, you say, but my workbench is pristine."
At this point, Ivan steps up and is looking at these screens and goes, "Oh, Catalina, I made you several of these outfits, and this is how you treat my work."
My
Ivan,
job
it
here is
will be
done.
fine. You make really good quality product. You know it's not going to. You know it's fine.
Duh, I make good stuff. And you leave on floor in heap.
I was in a
I'm going-
rush. I did not have time to clean it. Pim!
The pinbot is actually, before he leaves, going to walk up to Ivan and says, "Know that I have a great amount of respect for you. Truly." And then just exits the workshop and lets the door shut behind him.
As the door shuts behind him, the door to the elevator cracks open, and Jin, you are now in the workshop.
Not quite. Instead, it's like someone stuffed a cupboard full of all their clothes and it all tumbles out of the elevator. Except instead of clothes, it's just a ridiculous shambling pile of scrapped metal with me walking around it as my nanobots move it. So there's just like grating and grinding noises as this huge pile of metal starts moving across the floor.
I would like one of the security cameras watching this to short circuit.
That's fine. You'll have to fix it later anyway.
Yeah. Just, oh dear God. I don't even believe in God.
Morning.
Oh,
Okay.
Felix goes, "Oh, you still have a weird companion. Hello, Jin, was it?"
You know, weird is
Oh.
really fucking rude. And I pick up a shotgun and throw it on top of the pile that I was carrying with me.
Whereas
In Russian, Catalina goes, "Duh, but it's true."
I just glance at you and frown slightly and go and respond in perfect Russian. Catalina, I've been with you for about 2 weeks now. I can speak Russian fluently.
Is that a thing that he can do?
Legitimately, exposure to a
Ah.
language for a week, I learn it.
That's right. I
Yeah.
forgot that. No, you would know it anyway because you'd been on Haberna. You'd
Mhm.
been. See, she wouldn't have done it then.
I've just never spoken Russian in front of you or made any recollection of me knowing it.
No, she wouldn't have done that then because I forgot that you were living on Haberna when they met.
It doesn't matter.
That's fine.
yeah, it's fine.
But there's just like a grinding, shambling mound of shit and surprisingly primal being propped up. I've basically just gone and looted anything that's high technology in the entire ship and dragged it down here.
I mean, so Primal's core contains Darius. So basically, it's like how Thunderbird 2 looks really weird without a pod inside.
Yep.
It's like the arms and legs and exterior of the chassis and head of Primal with just this weird cavity in the center?
Yep. Pretty much.
Is this private party or can anyone join?
Party?
I don't know. I heard a lot of yelling. I assume we were celebrating something. What are we celebrating?
And I turned and looked at Ivan.
We celebrating return of Catalina and friends to ship.
I
Da.
was just catching up with
Whoa.
things. We lost Bim. He was that mortified.
There we go.
Yeah, no, I was thinking I would start making some things.
Jin, you turn your head to the side and you can see two beautiful mechs.
Yeah, no, they're going to need some work. Wait,
Are these the mechs that I'm aware of, or?
Jin hasn't seen this. Chris, these are.
They're the same ones.
Yeah, they're the same ones. Jin, as you say, like these need some work. Felix will advance and say, "I beg your pardon." Wait, bad voice. Russian. Like he says, "Excuse me, I've been spending weeks trying to get these things back into working condition, and you come in here and insult my work?"
oh, sorry, yeah, everyone on this ship is so fucking... Oh, they love their work so much, and they're so arrogant about it. I suppose I'm the same.
I'm curious as to what feedback you would give me, but being so dismissive of my efforts is a bit rude, especially when I also bring this. And he like walks back over to his side of the room, kind of like awkwardly climbs over several crates to like this oddly shaped thing shoved into the corner under a tarp. He pulls the tarp off, and you can see the top third of Catalina's single-wheeled motorcycle.
Oh, now that's going to be fun.
No, Jin, you're not touching that. That's mine.
He looks at Catalina, vaguely disappointed for a moment, and then goes,
All right then, well, the mechs, can I do something fun?
One of the mechs, that is fine. This Yakootah abomination, that's fine. You can play with that one. But this was made by hand with love. You stay away from this one.
All right.
Just as a note, Catalina, I think you might appreciate upgrade. And he hops on the bike, fires it up, and goes. If you recall, this thing had the ability to create flat ground underneath it on the surface of Habona because of the iron-rich soil.
Duh.
I realized that's not super useful on like a ship or a road or other places, so I make a bit of a change. And he drives the bike up the wall, and you can see that the wheel is just magnetically adhered to the wall. He drives it onto the ceiling and like has his hands and feet kind of locked in, and just looks up at you and goes, "Thoughts?"
This is good. I did not know that I needed this, but I love it.
And then he
Ivan!
goes to
Papa, did you
Yeah.
help with this? Other way around, because it was Felix. Yeah. Sorry.
Fast forward to
My
later.
brain.
How the hell did they
Sorry.
get tracks on the walls.
Papa, this is
Spider
amazing.
bike,
Ivan, did
spider
you
bike.
help with this?
No.
Really? Surprise.
No. I make clothes. Good clothes.
That is
I'm in
true.
clothes and punching.
I raise an eyebrow for a minute and goes,
Are you sure you don't want me to have a look at the bike, Catalina? I've got one idea that could help.
Not yet. Maybe.
How strong are those magnets? Just on the down low.
These magnets are Harbonan proprietary technology. You would have seen it, I believe.
Yeah,
Um,
no.
These magnets would hold, in terms of like passengers and cargo, if you were to fully load a single person with power armor and a big gun and some supplies, you'd be maxing it out then. If the bike was carrying two people who weren't wearing such heavy armor and didn't have as much gear, that's also feasible.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm just going to go over to the workbench and start disassembling a shotgun and emptying all of the shards into my pockets.
Okay. And at this point, Felix drives the bike down another wall, and yes, Pim, he does leave tire tracks on the ceiling, and then just brings the vehicle to a stop next to Catalina, turns it off, and hops off and goes, ta-da!
Papa, you have outdone yourself. I'm
Aw.
impressed.
I'm impressed too, and I built the damn thing.
Okay. Duh, I don't know how I'm going to use this, but I want to.
I don't know. You could drive up side of skyscraper. You
Bah!
could. No.
Bah!
Not sure how people who own skyscraper react, but that's a problem for another day.
Is not my problem. Hey, Ivan, could you make me like a very incognito outfit to wear on this?
You have to be a lot more specific, Catalina.
You know, incognito. Like nobody going to know it's me.
Incognito compared to what? What culture? What climate? I need more to work with.
Ambiguous and not to any particular culture.
Can't your skin change color?
Duh.
I think you could.
Duh.
Okay, I will buy. I will make for you a unitard that also changes color.
Oh. Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
And he sets to work. At this point, there is a crackle. So Pim, you get you receive a something that probably wouldn't have happened before you installed yourself back into the core. Someone is attempting to use the system that has been entirely your own up until this point. The internal PA system is someone is attempting to use it from the bridge.
I'm going to come up on the heads-up display on the bridge.
Okay.
This face.
Oh. Hello, Pim. You see, you see, it is Eva. She goes, I was going to make an announcement. This is a first. I haven't had this response before.
Where are we? Sorry, on the ship right now?
On the bridge.
Uh,
To where Eva is.
I can't find her. I found it. Okay.
May I make an announcement to the ship, please, Pim?
Sure. This
is an interesting question. Is this... How do you feel about this ship, Pim?
How do you feel about your arm?
Well, that answers that question. I was unsure as to how attached you were, but I've been paying attention to some of the camera feeds. I've been seeing some of your responses. It makes sense as to why you might be a bit protective. So I thought I would double check. Are you okay with me using the PA system more often? I mainly just use it to help coordinate the staff.
I don't mind you using it, but don't get any tattoos.
Too
Well,
late.
if you go by the analogy... Excuse me? The analogy was don't change anything.
Oh no. Okay. Oh yes. So I personally have a tattoo. I misunderstood.
What kind of tattoo? I'm thinking of getting one myself, but I doubt they do ink in cyberspace.
She, as you like go to dig a bit more deeply in terms of questioning her tattoo, she kind of has an expression of "oh no, I've said too much," and goes to like change the subject. Says it was a long time ago. It's nothing.
They say young teenagers or those in adolescence make provocative mistakes. Is it one of those?
Pim, just 1 second. I'm gonna make my announcement. Bridge to all hands. Bridge to all hands. There will be a debrief in the officer's room if the relatively new arrivals onto our ship could please meet us there with all essential personnel. Thank you. Bing bong. And everybody on board the entire ship hears that. Lucky, you probably would like hear the sound of an announcement kind of a bit muffled and echoey. Just because like the doors open to the Molotov, but you didn't get all of that.
I suppose I can handle that, Catalina.
Lucky's just gonna radio through to Pim. Pim. What was that?
Captain.
Missed half of that. What was it?
Oh, apparently you need to go to here. I'll send the location to your compound.
Is it important?
One moment. Eva, is it important?
I feel like a debrief summarizing what's happened over the past 4 months is pretty important.
Well, whether Lucky shows up or not is resting in my hands at the moment.
Yes,
so if you
please.
Tell me
yes.
About the tattoo, I will tell him to be there.
She's now attempting to open a separate channel directly to Lucky in the system.
Lock.
Roll me computers.
Yeah, this will go down well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a 5 and a 4 plus
4.
Yeah,
you block her. She's like, Pim? could Pim? Hey, Pim!
I think you're realizing now that I'm very immature when I want to be. Just say, I will tell you, and it will happen.
I will tell you what
I have the power.
It is. I will not tell you where it is.
Okay. I only wanted to know what it was. Anyway, here's the channel.
Lucky, please report to the rec room on deck 2 of the Milan.
Yeah, no worries. I'll be there.
Thank you. Pim, that was not so difficult. And
No.
Lucky, you hear that.
No, no, it wasn't difficult. You're right.
You ass.
Ken got back to his ship. He's a bit salty from getting back to his ship and finding everything trashed.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Look, he's going to make sure that Tazi is asleep.
Oh yeah.
And then head out.
Tazi is sleeping like a baby. In a pair of arms that have a hammock in between that are just like rocking her backwards and forwards. It's wholesome.
Yeah, he'll head out.
Okay. Okay, party, converge on the rec room. It will never have been this full before.
Yeah, where's the rec room?
It's on deck 2. Where's Lucia? She came and met you in the hangar, didn't she? There she is. Leo's gonna stay with his ship. I'm moving everybody around. Whoops. Charles, will you be attending?
As of yet undecided. I'm pretty sure at the end of last session I ended up going and finding one of my bottles of whiskey.
Okay, so where would Charles be in this situation then?
Sorry.
Isn't he in the med bay sleeping off that?
No.
Not this time.
Physically, he's fine.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a little bit of system strain. That's about it.
Sure. That's what they all say.
Addict.
I'd probably say he's in his room,
So
doing some research while having a couple of fingers of scotch.
your room is directly adjacent to the rec room.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
So if I am needed, I will then leave the room.
Okay. So, one by one, everybody piles into the rec room with Eva kind of standing at the head of the table. She has the holographic projector in the center of the table, like primed and ready. And Catalina, you file in, and everyone is seeing people they haven't seen in months. You got Ivan Sparks, the librarian, in one corner. Ani is standing nearby, and she of course comes over to you and gives you a big hug when you enter, and says,
Honey! And she gives her a big hug too.
"We'll talk soon, okay?"
Da. After this.
Da.
You have to
And
fill me
she-
in, and she like sort of just like makes a subtle gesture of like Ivan and Felix and be like, you have to fill me in on what happened here.
Oh my God, it's amazing. You would not believe it. Anyway, sorry. I like she's getting like a stern look from Ava and
While this is
return
happening,
to
can I be browsing Valkyrie tattoos on one of the screens?
Yes, you can. So just like a random screen next to let's say Lockie's room is just like it's just like pictures of random provocative angels being swept through.
Valkyries aren't provocative.
They can be.
They can be, yes, but
This is Pim.
Mm-hmm.
Pim would not be looking up provocative. He'd be looking, that one looks majestic and strong.
Okay, my bad. Cool. So once everyone is assembled and gathered, Eva goes, so, you all likely have a lot of questions, and this seemed like the most efficient way to answer them all. So, it's time to give you all a rundown of what you have missed in the past 4 months. First of all, not long after you made your entrance into the underground vessel, Sparks began to intercept communications indicating that yes, Yakootah was preparing in earnest to enter into some manner of peace talks. The allocated crew had been assigned, and to protect them from outside bias and influence and interference, they were kept away from the populace as the ship and the captain were briefed and prepared. About 2 weeks after preparations had began, there was an announcement from the Yakutan government. An announcement of an alliance being formed between the government of Yakootah and Papadias. It was touted as a great victory on all sides, and as a wonderful way to help the proud nation of Yakootah rebuild and strengthen, and that forming bonds across systems in these trying times would strengthen us all. It was not long before the ships began to land. They offered new and exciting cyberware at greatly discounted prices. A show of faith and goodwill to the people, of sharing what they had, is how it was sold. We were not convinced. The resistance were still quite in hiding and underground after your escapade at Jakob Hanna's mansion.
Sorry.
So we were removed from potential exposure to these hazards, but it didn't take long for us to catch on that the military were the first to be given mandatory requirements for this cyberware.
Did you get any sample pieces?
No.
Jean is probably not wise. From the sounds of it, it was the same cyberware that was used to control the people of Papadias.
I didn't say I wanted someone currently injected with the shit. I want a sample piece to work on and see if I can work out how it works.
That is fair, but we also do not know the risks of such possession.
Which is why I need a piece to work on.
Unfortunately not. It was deemed too much of a security risk to have something that could be tracked in our possession.
That's fine.
Regardless, things began to escalate. Conflict between sides broke out. Unfortunately, some of us, including Sparks, were caught in the crosshairs, and she gestures to the fact that Sparks has a cybernetic left arm and left eye now.
Don't worry, I'll make those better. Bear in mind, Sparks has never seen me. This is a 7-foot-tall alien talking to a man missing an arm and an eye, being told, "It's all good, I'll fix."
Catalina looks mildly guilty at the effects that.
Yeah. Sparks makes eye contact with Jin and says, "Try it, I dare you."
Why is everyone so hostile to me today?
Because you are a 7-foot-tall lizard with questionable intake on cyberware.
Questionable. I just make it work.
Anyway, interjects in Eva. Some of the oversights of the Papadias forces were that they initially had the resources to install their cyberware into actively serving military personnel. People who were on leave or were not in active duty or who were on reserve, they were smart enough to catch on, and groups of us were able to escape. Fortunately, the peace talks vessel had been made available. Its entire crew was present, as was a security escort, and so it was a harrowing week. But we were able to secure sufficient ships from the Yakootan armed forces, and were able to pull away and fall back to Harbona. And that is when the fleet arrived. I suspect that the forces from Paradise were hoping that it would be an easier win, but we are paranoid, we are careful, and we are savvy. They did not account for us.
You'd think that they'd know better after meeting myself and Dimitri. And
You would.
Darius.
However, what can I say? The main takeaway that we have observed from afar in terms of activity since we left is the fleet was accompanied by a massive ship, truly beyond anything we have ever seen before. The vessel touched down above the capital city of Yakootah and began tapping into the power reserves left unutilized after the ship was no longer present to draw on them. It appears that this large vessel has the means of mass cyberware production, and has been churning out upgrades ever since.
That is concerning.
That is where we are at the moment. But the reservoirs, the reactors, everything, all that power that was being poured towards keeping a ship of this magnitude, and she points out the window at the flippin' blossom, in check, all of that power is now being accounted for, and I am very concerned as to why.
What do you mean by this?
I mean, large columns were came from the ship itself to prop itself up above the city, and large conduits were run from them to the sources of power. It's all being used.
I see.
There's a massive quantity of heat being shed by this ship.
It is some sort of factory.
I fear it is more. Just to double check, you did tell them about Dotak, right?
Yes.
Yes. It was one of the first things we told them, and they said, we don't have time to worry about that.
Okay. I fear we may have been a bit too dismissive of your initial concerns when you arrived.
Duh.
Sparks has given me a rundown of some of the operational requirements for an AI to achieve higher intellect by outwardly observing PIM setup, and has likened it to what is occurring now on the surface of Yakootah, but at a much larger scale.
Okay.
So, and at this point, Ivan pipes in and said, "So, plan is obvious. We go to Papadais and make threat. If
Quick question.
Yeah?
Would I be able to use like the doorbell on my room as a camera to watch the meeting without actually being in there?
Yeah.
Cool. The moment he says threat, the door swings open and Charles is standing
In his
He has-
underpants.
No, he's fully normally dressed.
Okay.
But he leaves. No, there is no threatening Dotak. If we go to Papadais, we go there to destroy him.
We suspect that Dotak is no longer on Papadais.
Then let us go to Yakootah, and we will destroy the ship. I'm done dealing with this stupid, overgrown worm of a fucking AI. It needs to die.
It has a planet full of probably the most augmented soldiers we've seen since my civilization.
And we've escaped from him before.
Even
On a
Not-
planet where he's been able to set up for years.
Not
And how
without
many lives did it
sacrifice.
cost?
Bless you.
So,
I think I have a solution for individual cases, but I can't combat that many cyberware pieces at once, and I certainly can't process like an AI.
so we have a challenging situation before us. It is good to focus on taking things one step at a time. We are a few days out from Nolasco. I am told that that your large vessel is to be refueled there and bring it up to prime working order.
Unless
This
unless
is
there's no inhabitants of the system, yes.
So we have a few days to think about what we are going to do. Lucky, did the vessel have a proposed estimated time of completion for its refueling?
Oh, actually, it did, didn't it? I don't recall what it was though.
It was a few days.
Yeah, yes. So we're in dry space for 2 to 3 days, and then it will take 2 to 3 days to finish.
Yeah.
I have had a whole bunch of cyberware projects on and off for a period of time that none have come to fruition, so I have the parts to upgrade anyone who's currently got cyberware and needs it. We should probably go into this as equipped as we can be.
We've got about a week before we can make it back. Maybe a little bit longer.
Okay. That may be sufficient time for reinforcements to arrive. We suspect that word will already be on its way back to Papadais calling for reinforcements. It is unclear how many more ships are available there to come to reinforce Yakootah.
Am I the
But-
only one seeing the glaringly obvious weakness in Dotak's plan?
Ivan chimes in and says, if you have answer, tell me.
He seems to be affixing multiple humans with a mechanical advantage. So, attacking him mechanically or trying to beat him at his own cybernetic game doesn't seem like the correct course of measure. When it comes to human bodies, however, perhaps we should attack him with something biological.
No, because those people can still be saved, like we saved Darius and Lockie.
Did we save them?
Lucky's
Well,
stands in front of
Lockie,
me
did
now.
we save you?
I'm feeling pretty safe. For the moment, at least.
That said, I'm not entirely opposed either.
We can't hear you, Chris.
That said, I'm not opposed to Pin's line of thinking either. Perhaps not something fatal, but a disease that can slow them down at least.
My thoughts exactly. A human can go down in about 30% productivity with something as simple as the common cold. I'm not saying to kill them. I'm saying to make them weaker. You yourself as a doctor would know that influenza, as well as other viruses, would not be fatal and would cause
They can still
great
be
weakness.
fatal in a percentage of the population, especially without treatment. And if you attack the entire population at once, you're not going to be able to treat everyone.
I'm not saying that we have to treat it. I'm saying that Dotak will have to treat it if he wants his soldiers to be healthy, which is going to use much needed resources for him.
Pim, I think there is some merit to your plan, but I just would like to remind everyone that when Dotak was controlling my body, there was a definitely an element of which my biological form was not a restriction to his ability to perform.
Yes, but that level of control requires a great amount of expense. That level of expense and effort cannot be put into a multitude of subjects all at the same time.
I would also raise and hazard the question, and permit me to be rude for a moment, but Catalina, you're not exactly human flesh.
That is true. And that is why he could control me. However,
Charles
without
just walks out.
cybernetic. However,
It is besides the point. The
It
point
was
is,
still
we are not
capable.
thinking of all avenues. We are merely thinking, big gun, big boom. We will come back, we will threaten. I have threatened Dotak several times, to no avail. We have used the giant blossom laser. It has not stopped his pursuit. We have tried to reason with him. We have tried to kill him. We have tried to attack him. We have tried to spare lives. Inconsistency every time we've gone up against him. He has used his overwhelming numbers as a tool to defeat us. On top of that, those overwhelming numbers, while you care for their safety, they do not care for yours. You are fighting a losing battle before you even enter the abode. I'm asking for us to get a little bit of a one-up instead. He's going cybernetic. Maybe we should look into doing something that isn't cybernetic. He clearly has the advantage. We need to come at him from a different angle.
I definitely think there is merit in this concept. Dotek seems to be so convinced of their own success that threats are impossibly useless. You cannot threaten someone who cannot feel fear because they are so sure that they are going to win.
Which is why something as simple as a common cold would be a big problem for him. He can anticipate how we attack. He can anticipate the laser. He can anticipate damage. He can anticipate reinforcements from our side, and he can anticipate a ship-wide attack. However, his perfect system doesn't account for such things as a flag in health. He would already have things in place to make people healthy. After all, the perfect system requires that everyone be healthy. All we need to do is interrupt that.
Just a quick pause on this conversation as we slide sideways over to Dr. Charles. You follow Dr. Lucy out of the room, and you see that she steps into some of the nearby adjacent bunk quarters. Are you going to follow her?
Yes.
She passes through a corridor of like tiered bunks, comes out on the other side into so these rest quarters are used for like officers, so they're a bit nicer than like the full-on just bunks, more towards the back, and it also means that they have like nice little alcoves and hangout areas past the beds. You approach the door that Dr. Lucy has passed through and peer through and see that she is holding it in her arms a Bible.
Yes.
Dear little baby James, looks about a year old.
Why, he is grown.
He, his little winged nubs are beginning to sprout feathers, and all 6 of his eyes are locked on Dr. Lucy. He's smiling happily. She's kind of bouncing him up and down, and is pacing back and forth, waiting for a bottle to warm.
I just sort of knock on the frame of the door. In, sorry for being away for so long. I hope the child hasn't given you any trouble.
You clearly haven't raised children before, have you, Dr. Charles?
No.
This one shoots lasers.
Trust me. I know. They hurt.
Not a sentence you ever expect to hear.
This one shoots lasers!
Oh my
Jack from
God.
Incredibles vibes.
Yeah.
It's just Jack.
A little bit. He can kind of give a lot of people a sense of unease, so I've been keeping him away from certain crew members. He's still been being socialized with the people who are comfortable spending time with him. Ani has been a lifesaver. She
I was
really
gonna say,
has.
Adi would be absolutely fascinated.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't fill me with confidence.
What, her fascination or
Arnie.
oh? Look, no one ever said she was a great child influence, but hey, at least she's there to help.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as long as he's doing fine, it's...
Yes, he is. He's
He grows a lot faster than normal. It's not just my
yes.
imagining.
No, it is not. There is a very noticeable perceived accelerated growth rate. He appears to be aging twice as fast as a conventional infant.
Right. It makes me wonder at what point the person that it was originally went through the machine.
I'm not sure. Perhaps at that age, his accelerated progression will slow or cease altogether.
Yeah,
Regardless, we shouldn't be away for too long. Best return to the meeting. She picks up
quick
the
question
bottle.
before we go back.
Yes.
When we removed the implants on Darius and Lockie,
Yes.
did you see any way to make that easier?
Making it easier. I will remind you, Charles, that my speciality is not in cyberware, and it was a bit of a stretch for me to be uninstalling it at all. I'm afraid I'm not the person to ask about this.
Do you know if do you know if we have any captured people that have cyberware installed?
Yes, actually.
How many?
2.
Right. I'm going to go test some theories after this meeting.
I'd be careful if I were you, Charles. The 2 are those psychics.
Yes, well, it is what it is. As long as I keep them under, they're not going to be waking up anyway. I don't need them awake, I just need them to stay still so I can get to the cyberware without hurting them.
Tell me when you're doing this, Charles. I will ensure that it's ethical.
It will be as ethical as you can make it in war, especially against an AI.
Hence my
I've
presence.
seen what this thing can do
And I've already
on its own
taken.
planet.
I have already taken steps to ensure that the cyberware is disabled in terms of broadcasting. Sparks was insistent about that.
Good. Actually, we might be able to do this with a bit of help.
Excellent.
No,
Now,
don't let me delay you.
no, it's all right.
Get behind her.
James, flap, 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 and like all six of his wings spread out and begin to like buzz like hummingbird wings, and he just lifts up from her grasp and is just like floating in midair, like there's no gravity, just drinking his milk.
Oh God.
And the two of you return.
Terrifying.
Baby James! I love him!
I would like to message Dr. Charles if I can.
Sure.
The message reads, Dr. Charles, what are you planning? It might help if I was to assist.
I'm going to have to get a few people to assist, but it can wait till after the meeting. Don't worry, Pim. You will be notified.
Okay.
I might need a few extra hands.
Okay. You return to the meeting, and it probably wouldn't have progressed much further past where the conversation was already. You were talking about biological warfare. Carry on.
Non-fatal biological warfare. It's not something that he'd expect. After all, he's too focused on cyberware to think about the biological component.
I'm not particularly a fan, but if it works, it would work. I think Loki, what's your call?
Become the captain of one ship and everyone makes you make all the hard decisions. Suffer!
We need a captain. It's good.
I think these people are mostly innocent, and so killing them unnecessarily goes against everything that I stand for. It's already been hard enough making the choices we've made. We won't have the ship coming back, the Blossom. I won't delay it from its mission. It's not my call to make on such a scale. But we do need to hit him where it hurts.
That said, the production power of his factories and things like that. If we got the disease out, how long would it even last? Would it even spread?
It depends on the type of disease and the spread rate as well as the insertion of infection. If it was to be inserted into a water supply, he would probably notice it pretty quickly. So it would have to be a localized area, a large effect radius.
The dirtiest of bombs.
Like God said, a dirty bomb.
I'm less sold all of a sudden.
If I can be the outlier here, this is to Catalina, Loki, even Ava, Ivan, every human on this crew. As you know, I am not biological, nor am I human. I can tell you this, no matter what choice you make right now, I've crunched the numbers. Innocents will die. It is an inevitability.
I am aware of this.
The question is, how many innocents are going to have to die in order to make sure that the rest of the sector remains safe? I know it's a hard call, but understand that if you put too much challenge on yourself in order to save as many lives as possible, with each little miracle you come up with, the chances of saving the sector goes down.
There are going to
I
be
am.
casualties in this no matter what we do. That is a certainty. What we want to do
Yes.
is try and minimize those casualties.
At the expense of increasing the risk.
We can only do what we can. If we do not
That-
even try, then that makes us...
No better than the greedy AI bastard that's causing this problem in the first place.
Duh.
I'll be sure to tell that to the women and children of the other planets of the sectors if you fail to save them.
To be fair, Pim, the only reason why I'd be willing to try it is because one life means little to me, and for exactly the other reason appealing to me on the other side. At what point are we willing to waste a bunch of lives to save a few more?
I suppose, but from my point of view, it is becoming increasingly more dangerous. Every time we make these compromises and pull off the impossible, we end up back in this situation. We have been in this situation several times, and we always try to do the right thing. And the right thing always lands us back in this situation.
But Pim, that is what separates us from the bad guys.
Me.
You misunderstand. I do understand where you're coming from. But understand that there is a massive difference between doing what's right and doing what's necessary.
Duh. So we do what is necessary. But only what is necessary. No more than what is necessary. And that's how
Do
these...
you truly believe you can do what is necessary?
Pim, I have been fighting this war for a very long time.
You have self-sacrificed a few times as well, Catalina. You have put yourself in danger to go see your mother, nearly died, got taken in by Dotak, as well as many other issues, all because you had to do what you thought was right, not what was necessary.
In those situations, as far as I was concerned, that is what was necessary. To get the results that I was looking for, that was necessary.
Ava, help me out here.
Catalina, your pragmatic friend has he makes some good points.
Eva, you know what I'm like. I will fight the war. I will do what needs doing. You've sent me on many a task, and not all of
Yes.
them were exactly to my taste. We do what we have to do, but we don't
Indeed.
do whatever we want. We do what we have to. There is a difference.
Indeed. And there is a reason that sometimes I would make the tough decisions for the rest of the team. You said so yourself. Someone has to make the tough calls, and you would do things not to your taste. The reason you did that is because someone above you made that decision, accepted the risks, and chose that it was the right call.
I'm going to turn to Pim and say, and look at him briefly, and him and Lockie, and just say,
As far as I'm concerned, Pim, your and my responsibility is to be able to commit genocide at the drop of a hat's notice. The only reason we don't is because we're waiting for Lockie's say-so. If you think this gives you power, make power. If you need to use it, ask Lockie first. That's all I really care
What
about
makes
is
you
that,
think I haven't already?
well, in that case, you're with me. I'm sorry, I actually have work to do as well. Again, for the same reasons I just spoke to Pim about. I don't think I'm exactly the one you want making the decisions on this stuff. That said, I'll make some firepower at the very least.
I respect everyone's input on this.
I have
My
been
own-
taking a page from everyone's book. In that, I have been taking on these emotions, and I have been taking on your points of view. Understand that in this situation, I'd like you to take on mine. It is a game of numbers to me. The numbers are clearly outweighed against us, and if we keep stacking numbers against ourselves, just for the sake of what is human and what is good, well then there's going to be no humans left.
We certainly need more cards up our sleeves or blades in hand behind our backs. I won't argue that.
We do not want to give up our morality, though, just for the sake of this war.
What morality?
Morality can't exist if you don't exist, Catalina. And that is what I'm afraid of.
I would rather not exist than compromise my morality.
That is
Because I have
very
to live with
selfish
that.
of you.
But
I have to live for hundreds of years. I already have, and I will have to do it again without you.
But Pim,
Is that fair to me? Is that fair to everyone who cares about you?
and
Your
it is-
decisions affect others.
and it is selfish of you to ask me to live with the decisions I cannot cope with living with.
I never said you had to make the decision. I'm
Yes,
asking you if you can, and if you can't, I'll make it for you.
it is not
Because
about
I don't want
making
you
the
to live with
decision.
those decisions.
Anyone can make a decision. But performing the act of those decisions, seeing the consequences, knowing that I was accomplice in this, I still have to live with all of that. As do all of us.
You
It
seem
is
to
not
be
as
missing my
simple as
point.
black and white.
What I'm saying is, you won't be able to make that decision.
I could make it if I wanted to, but I don't want to. I want to look for other options. If it is our last resort, then so be it.
We should
don't
at least,
even have a last resort.
which is why we should be prepared to use it if it is a last resort. I think you should make it, Pim, but don't use it until we have to.
Well, to be fair, it's not fatal. I was thinking of making mumps.
Mumps are super fatal, dude.
Well, a weaker form.
The lovely lady mumps.
What's this
Yeah.
one's name? Balthazar. It's an evil demon that spits fire in my throat.
I would prefer to reduce this away from questions of ethics and morality and back into the realm I work better in, if that's okay.
There.
I can respect that. I understand that this is a very challenging decision, one which we all have to live with. And at this, she kind of looks down to Lucia, who has still been wearing the fancy king captain's hat the entire time, but has been silent and
ever since Moomina.
She's been silent and stoic and just observing this conversation, and at this point she stands and says, "Look, this is not easy. Situation never easy. But at the end of the day, do we all accept that Dotak cannot go on?"
That is definitely agreed.
We all
Okay.
know this.
Well then, a solution must be found. And at this point, the best solution is one which is swift and effective. I be in war before. I no sleep well at night. But everyone else can. If we keep them safe.
Unfortunately, I have to agree. That aside, there are things that I need to reach some more efficiency in certain ways, and I was wondering if I could borrow sparks for that. I've read some of Darius's case notes on conversations, recordings. You know, Darius kept a dossier on every single one of you.
Yes.
Sparks looks over at Jin and says, "You cracked Darius's encryptions to get to his notes?"
I mean, it wasn't quick, but
Okay, yes. Yes, you and I should talk. Impressed.
I'm not saying no, Pim. I'm saying I want other options.
Then I will give them to you.
I want to exhaust all options before we go for that one.
I
Lucia
will leave
says,
out thermonuclear and biological warfare.
Lucia kind of looks up at the ceiling to the speaker that Pim is announcing from and says, "Look, if we're taking page from Darius' book, how about the EMP?"
That's definitely an option.
I mean,
One strong
sure.
enough to completely destroy a core.
You notice that I look exceptionally uncomfortable. To me, that's far worse than a viral bomb.
Mm-hmm.
But you haven't communicated that to us. We don't know.
He did actually.
You
a while
and
ago.
you and Lockie
did.
should also feel uncomfortable because of what happened the last time an EMP went off in your face.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Catalina's okay with the sacrifice of herself.
As an aside, an EMP that goes off near me, pretty strong chance to kill me. I don't know what level of integration his stuff does, but it's sort of the same scale, isn't it?
Yes, it's right in the center of the brain, so using an EMP would probably kill everyone that was in range.
Yeah.
There is a possibility of converting my core into a pre-tech EMP. The power of one core would definitely be enough to take out another if electromagnetic pulse was created. I'm not saying to use my core. I'm saying that perhaps we shouldn't have thrown out Blacklands.
I like magnets. Like I like electricity, and I like fire. I don't like burning people alive.
Sorry, I just imagine you like, I like a magnet.
I like magnets.
I'm just imagining after like 111 sessions, Pim like walks over to a lockbox, pulls out Black Lance, and goes, "Psych."
Yeah, no, I melted it because I was like, no. Create a neat. Oh, hang on. I think I just had a realization.
that?
Be right back. Pim's gonna go
fills
quickly
me with
crunch some
joy
numbers.
and
That's a
confidence.
lot of power being taken into that factory, right?
Yes, a lot of power.
If we were to simultaneously remove all earth wires and then detonate the center of said power or like power conduit, would that cause an EMP?
No, it would cause an explosion, though.
Yeah, but like we'd need to attack. Does it have transformers of any kind? Like,
It's not transformers you need. You need a particular coil shape to. You'd need an incredibly strong metallic coil. It would have to be very, very, very big coil that you effectively run the electricity through.
I'm not looking for a today's modern science. I'm looking for a bullshit sci-fi pseudoscience way of creating this EMP.
Interesting. Make me a science roll, Pim.
Come on, mamacita. 6-4 science. Oh yeah, I upgraded my science. That's a +1, +2, 3. So, 12.
You're abundantly aware of what this power is doing at the moment. Yes, a decent portion of it is going to be running a manufacturing plant on board the ship to keep
sub we're
Yeah.
churning out.
Cyberware production going, but it's also probably sparing the load on the vessel's own internal power supply, and allowing Dotak to be at an even greater level of thought.
Hmm.
So,
Oh my lord, I just got a very evil idea. Dotak likes power, right?
sorry?
Dotak likes power, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we've
I
come
know where you're
across
going with this.
biological creatures that don't really like other people having power, right?
Pim, are you suggesting we release the blob?
I am suggesting we go and collect blubs.
Actually, I don't hate this idea.
We blub him.
If you release,
They also kill humans.
they do,
Yes, but
perhaps
they
more
only,
effectively than viruses.
they generally go after the power sources first. And there is a very big, juicy power source.
Look,
Oh my god.
we would need a escape plan, so to speak.
We
It's
don't
a
even
good
need to
thing we-
collect them. We have a
it-
ship with some very, very big ones.
No,
No,
they're
they
dead.
Nope.
Did we kill all of them?
But we
Mhm.
have a way of collecting them. We have a ship that can collect and transport them.
Charles, did you still have that sample of it that you had previously?
It should still be in the lab. But
Ah, okay. I'll be right back. I'm gonna
Is it
start
bad?
walking to
Touch
the
it.
lab.
The amount of annoyance these things have brought us, the amount of irritation, the amount of anger, the amount of nuisance. And now we're going to do that to Dotak.
Bloop. Bloop. At this point, Felix looks up to you, Kathleen, and says, daughter, I confused. What is blub?
Eva, may I have access to the holographic display?
I was going to say, Pim is
Yes.
better to explain. Let me just say, you don't
It's-
want to touch it.
Has electric sapping tentacles and blubs in through the space. It comes in house and gets in you and stabs you in your face. It takes electricity from wires and batteries and roots, from circuits and power boards and computers to hey. And he puts up a large blub on the screen and makes it bounce up and down.
Can someone please clip that? That was actually rather good.
That was amazing.
Well done. So, your lecture on blubs completed. Jin, you've made it to the lab.
Yep. I'm going to pick up the DNA recombinator thing that I've seen 100 times in this office, spend a few seconds, and look up at the camera and go,
And Pim,
Hmm?
you might want to call for Dr. Charles.
and stab it into my neck and inject it.
Oh shit!
Does he fall
are
over?
you talking about the gene splicer?
Yep.
Yeah, that
It's
would not have been
close
left
to
in the
humans.
lab.
Oh, well, wherever it was sitting.
In my room, in a
Well,
locked box.
That's where I would have
I am
gone
not
then.
going to leave a blub gene splice.
I will roll
sitting
for the
around.
locked box then. Because I figure with my current equipment, it would not take me long to break an electronic or physical lock.
He's got a point. And honestly, I want to see what happens here.
Okay, so we will allow this to be fair. Jin, you go to the lab, you look around, and you go, it's not here. Damn. Charles would probably keep it near his person because you've perceived Charles's behavior long enough to know that he's paranoid.
Yeah.
And you didn't see him carrying any bag or anything when he was at the meeting. He was just in his room, so you think maybe he's in his room. That would make sense. So
Yeah, I'm going to connect to Pim on the way and just talk.
You know, I don't think Charles would be really willing to take this risk, but I think the thing is that we've seen what it did to, what's his name? I can't remember his name now.
Dr. Hotaka.
Yeah, we saw what it did
The
to
man-
Professor Hotaka!
Professor Hotaka. At least I'm in an area where I'm not going to have the influence of 10,000 blobs around me, so it should be controllable for a period of time.
And I'm just saying this as I'm walking, so Pim probably has time to stop me if he realizes what I'm doing.
You're running under the assumption that I would also allow you to experiment with said blood serum.
I'm aware that I'm sort of relying on you, Pim, but here's the thing. Either we release a great big dirty bomb, or you let me take a risk and we see what it does to me and whether I can do this in a more sensible way. If we get this set up and I can attune to this quicker, your previous plan of getting control of the blobs faster is quicker.
Jim, I'm going to tell you exactly what you told me.
Yeah.
Ask Lucky.
I sort of grit my teeth for a moment and grind them slightly.
Yeah, all right, fine.
We do
I'll
what
go and
needs
get-
to be done without worry, but
All
we
right.
need moral grounding.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to still break in and take it, but I'll bring it back to the room where Lockie is.
He's in the rec room directly adjacent to the room you're
He
breaking
just
into.
sees you bust into fucking Charles' room, just like.
Oh, legit.
Literally, my
I don't
room
need-
is like right next door to where I'm standing.
I legit don't even need to break in though. I literally just
Stupid guys
drop a
breaking in.
piece of. I literally just drop a piece of my armor, which goes under the door, breaks through the locks in the thing, and then drags the vial out to me.
That's gross.
I mean, like, they're microbots, so in theory they would fit under a regular door. However, you're in a spaceship, and all the doors are designed to hold up against explosive decompression, so there isn't an under the door,
Oh,
unfortunately.
Good point. Good point. In that case, I'll just open it and walk in.
Okay, so
I can do
Charles.
that relatively.
Yep, Charles, there's a conversation occurring. Jin re-enters the room behind you very cavalierly, just approaches your bedroom door, opens it, and walks inside.
Can
Oh.
I help you with something?
Yeah, no, just looking for something. Bear with me.
And I'll just go
It's
over to the lock
my
crate in
room.
front of him.
There, you keep that, yeah?
What do you want?
The thing, thoughts are a little scattered at the moment. If we're going to control the blob, we need someone able to control it. The person most equipped is probably me. I've got a bunch of compensators built with cybernetics that worst comes to worst. Well, two of them I know you can overpower to knock myself unconscious already because I got shit scared after the last thing. We should ask Lucky. It's another big nasty plan of biological disease level, but it's another weapon we have on hand.
Okay, so Charles, for your information, Jin has made it into your room and is holding the still locked box under his arm. And so like, okay, let's go and talk to Lucky about this.
At which point, I grab the box with telekinesis and pull it away from him.
Everyone is being so fucking rude to me today.
You literally
the
just
takeaway.
walked into my room and tried to steal my stuff.
I mean,
Yes,
you're welcome to
I'm
walk into
going
my
to be
room
rude.
and take my stuff.
I don't take anyone's stuff.
Why not?
That's a lie.
Like, come on, we should all be taking what we
You
need
should
at
discuss
this
your
point.
plan with Lockie first.
That's where we were going.
Lucky's just gonna say yes.
No, he's not.
Lucky's gonna be like, no, last resort. Mikhail wants to see what happens.
So do I. And I'm running the game.
Mikhail's like, stab yourself, do it.
The thing is, we've never actually stabbed anyone with this thing, so I don't know what the fuck it'll do. So it's not a thing of like, I'm just going to jab myself with a fucking mystery needle that's like 700 years old, because that sounds like a great fucking idea. No,
Oh yeah, why not?
Actually
no,
do
it's
that with
not.
inserting a telekinetic sling into your arm.
What?
Didn't you insert a something odd 1,000-year-old telekinetic sling into your arm without knowing what it was first?
No.
He didn't do that.
Just-
it was
just-
kind of
No,
done to
I
him.
took the telekinetic sling and then the Mantis people installed it on me.
You didn't
Mhm.
know what it was.
I knew it was a
He-
telekinetic sling.
Yes, he had figured that out, had it on his person, and they went, hey, we could install that if you want, and you went, sure. They just didn't fully understand.
Granted, I can't take it off.
Stop being
Yeah.
self-sacrificing. Like I know I'm always
Yeah.
taking drugs, turning
Yeah.
into Goku, and trying to kill myself.
Oh my goodness.
If he's going to do this, he's doing it in a controlled environment, like the fucking med bay.
All right.
Look after yourself.
Hold on,
Meanwhile, I'm
hold on.
going into a psychic coma.
I will talk to Charles in the room and just go, look, as far as I'm concerned, Pin's plan of getting clubs involved is probably the safest and most easy option. At the end of the day, though, we need someone able to control them like Totaka was. I'm fundamentally the best equipped to be able to do that. I have all of the cyberware currently set in my skull that if worse comes to worse, I can activate 2 or 3 pieces that will execute me. So if it becomes a problem, we end it quickly. Otherwise, I can put a constraint on myself, use various parts of cyberware to augment and lock this down. You know how I feel about genetic modification. This is probably the last route I want to take. But it's also probably the most powerful one I can, and therefore it's one that we should bring to the people's attention.
Well, to start off, it would require us getting more blobs to start with, because they were augmented into space.
And to get them, we're going to need someone to be able to control them.
Oh no, they'll come to the ship quite willingly. Trust me.
Right,
I have another idea. Does anyone like battery-powered disco balls?
Excuse me?
Well,
Pim, I saw
it
you
looks like
naked
a
dancing,
jellyfish.
I'm right.
It looks like a jellyfish. I think we should make a fishhook.
The point is let's take this to Loki.
Okay.
I still just can't get over the hypocrisy of fucking Charles Buck. I really can't. Just can't do it.
Well, you're gonna
So-
have to, because
He's Dr. Charles motherfucking Buck.
precisely.
Super Saiyan incarnate.
So-
Straight from Altus.
So, for the sake of what I think would be a genuinely funny scene, I'm going to say the meeting has somewhat devolved, just a little bit.
Sorry.
Almost certainly, anyway.
Ivan and Felix are kind of off to one side, just like screaming in each other's faces about oil stains and appropriate splatter testing, with Eva in between them trying to calm things down. The librarian has pulled out a deck of cards and is dealing Annie, Sparks, and Lucia into a game of poker while they wait.
I feel like Catalina and Lucky are discussing options.
Yes. So what would part of that conversation be like? And I'll have Charles and Jen re-interject at an appropriate time.
I think the blob idea is good, but we need an escape plan, you know? Like, a way we can counteract our own actions once we have achieved our goal, you know?
We
You see a
already
kind
have
of
that.
evil grin appear in Loki's face. Remote detonation charges inside each of the blobs.
Lucky, you cannot solve every problem with explosions.
Look, if it was up to me,
guys.
I'd just blow that entire bloody power station up, but it's going
You-
to hurt people, and I don't want to hurt people.
That
Have
is
you
my
already
thinking
forgotten?
too.
We already have a way to be invisible to the blobs. A frequency, remember? I had to be in a scarab bot.
How long would it take Pim to make something of large enough size to, you know?
With the help of the blossom, probably not long. I would need a week. But I also want to catch blubs. I want to get a small one and name it Squishy.
Okay, you know what? That is fine, I think, if as long as it has appropriate containment.
What is making me laugh here is that the system that Dotak has is so perfect. No one could ever predict blubs.
It is too far of a primitive creature for him to think it to be any threat.
Exactly.
I think
It
that
is
is to our
so
benefit.
far beyond his expectation that he would have no countermeasure to it, just like we didn't, which makes it perfect. Like, he's going to expect us to come out with some amazing super weapon. He's
Ah,
going to be pretty curious when we throw jellyfish.
okay. This is true, but I think element of surprise here is still very important. We should organize some sort of distraction. And Lucky, if you wish for this to be explosive, it would potentially be appropriate.
I'm sure we can work something out.
But we
Lucky,
should
have you
make big
seen
song
those
and dance.
movies where they make the giant cookie? You know, those shows where they like try to raise money and they create a giant cookie? Do you think we could do the same with a giant demo pack?
I mean, I can't see why not.
And couldn't we use nitroglycerin instead of plastic explosive?
Again, can't see why not.
It needs to exist in space, so nitroglycerin-laced thermite would also be a good idea.
Okay, just remember, least
Oh
casualties
no, you
as
said
possible.
distraction. You said
No.
distraction.
Distraction is great. Big song, dance, fireworks all over the place. But
Can I play Rise of the Valkyries? Shut up, Charles. Can I please play Rise of the Valkyries?
At this point, the door to Charles's room opens.
yes, you can. I think this is fine.
I step past Ivan and what's his name arguing and go, "Shut up! You're both fucking oil stains as far as I'm concerned."
How dare you speak to Ivan like that?
I'll just keep pushing through over to Loki. All right. So, out of all the options we have, the one that causes the least amount of harm is taking out the electricity as quickly as possible, right?
Yeah.
Which involves blobs. Frankly, there's no better or more perfect solution to do so.
Oh my god, we're going to save the sector and the entire universe with blobs.
Right.
Not a sentence I ever expected to say.
No, but it brings me joy.
Well, the point is that they're uncontrollable and we can't direct them in surgical precision. Instead, we'd have to use them randomly and wildly, which is just not acceptable, right?
No, that's actually untrue. They're very, very simple in their activity. We set up fungus, and it grows in a certain direction, following the right path.
Right,
we set up
but
animals,
ultimately-
and they eat food. We set up blobs.
Ultimately, it's not as controllable as we'd need it to be if we were going to get it in surgically and quietly. So, option
They're
2,
like bugs. They will fly to the big light bulb.
remember what happened with Totaka?
Yes, we had to knock him out.
What are you getting
I'm
at?
talking to Loki for a moment.
Oh, goodbye.
What are you getting at?
Charles has a gene splicer and enough of the DNA that I could possibly use it on myself. I'd probably be the most useful candidate in relation to genetic splicing purely because A, for one, I'm not going to pollute your fucking human gene pool, which is an advantage, believe it or not, because I have an absolute disgust at genetic splicing in the first place. For 2, I have enough cyberware on me that I can link it to the ship and Pym can take control of it, shutting me down if this becomes bigger than it needs to be.
let's just pretend for a moment I don't know what gene splicing is, and you explain it, for everyone else in the room. All right?
All
If
right.
you mix blue and yellow, you get green.
Lockie, remember what happened to you in the weird glass orb on Blossom?
Yeah.
That's gene splicing.
Probably not the best example because he
No, it's a
enjoyed
perfect
that.
example because it's gene splicing.
And what happened to
And we remember what
Hotaka?
happened to Hotaka when he was gene spliced with a blob.
Remember how you became kind of like shark, but not shark? That is.
So fundamentally, I'm probably the best option for this because, well, as far as I'm concerned, there's no genetic material that's being lost that's worth anything anymore because, frankly, I can't reproduce and my species is doomed anyway, to be fucking blunt.
I'm depressed now.
For two, I don't want to see this spread throughout the rest of the species. And three, I at least have enough cyberware involved that I could fashion something that would restrict it to some degree. But the advantage of being able to conduct electricity on my own terms would probably allow me to make new cyberware, faster and nastier, basically push forward my evolution beyond what we're currently at anyway. If anything, it's probably the only genetic splicing that would work for the Jinn.
Well, I don't see why you need to talk to me about it. If it's got to do with you and your species, that's a decision you make.
Well, there's also obviously the fact that I respect you as a captain and you get to make the call on the big nasty things, because what I would be doing is effectively unleashing my plague as well. Just in my own terms and slightly more controlled.
Do you mind saying that again, Chris? You cut out.
Chris, it sounds like as you're speaking, your mouth is moving away from and then closer to the
That
microphone.
is terribly annoying because I'm struggling to be. Okay, I'm going to talk normally because I'm struggling to do this as much.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, this would be the easiest way to do it because I would effectively be unleashing a genetic plague of my own sort, except one targeting cyberware. It's of the same scale but more targeted. We don't hit everyone, instead we hit the problem pieces in their head. I could lead a team of probably 10, maybe 11 blobs, I think. Any more, and I definitely wouldn't be able to control it.
Blob 1 standing by. Blob 2 standing by. Go for it, Team Blob. Let's go.
It just doesn't sound right without my voice, so I'm going to go back to it and keep trying it. And
Okay.
Oh, good.
It's always it's something that we could at least attempt. It would be, like, as I said, as far as I'm concerned, Mind Pim's half the crew's ability to go as far as they can is either looking at Charles to become fucking god, looking at Pim to make a fucking plague that will wipe out half a species, or
Hey, I was just going to
improvise
give him
a
a
god
cold.
and cause the biggest problems I possibly can wherever I can. It's your call where you want to use us and how you place us.
Whatever plan minimizes casualties, that's the plan we go with.
Blub.
Alright. Ultimately, this is something you own, Dr. Charles, and it is rather expensive, so...
Yes, I know this one dose would probably be worth about 2 million fucking credits. I know the last one cost about $2 million in credit. 2 million credits in resources to recreate.
That's a lot of whiskey.
That it is.
To be fair on Jin's side, it's not as if you could spend it if we're all dead.
I think there is a given advantage also to me being able to control blob, and that is that no one has attempted to introduce cyberware into the blob. They are too vicious, too aggressive,
okay.
and too dangerous.
This is
However,
going
with
too
a
far
given
even
level-
for me.
With a given level of control, increasing their intelligence, making them more limited in some sort.
I'm scared.
Why use a drone when you can use a creature that has all the advantages of being biological plus all of the benefits of being a drone?
This is just reminding me of the Hanar from Mass Effect.
So,
That's where I was heading anyway. It's a level of complexity and obviously a danger because I'd effectively be creating a new species. Either way, it's playing God.
As long as we have a guaranteed way of neutralizing it. We don't want to replace one problem with another.
Well, that's the simplest and easiest way to do that is the cyberware switch that causes well, there's a neurochemical regulator in the back of my brain that basically keeps me functioning somewhat. You shut that off, I die, problem solved.
But it doesn't
Or
solve the
we could
problem
just
with the
regulate
rest.
it to knock you out.
Yeah.
It does not solve the problem of the rest of the blobs.
Oh, I'll
But
be
we do-
installing controls in every single one of them, don't you worry, I can't.
Are
let
you
them
kidding
go.
me? What is more of a threat, Dotak or blubs?
That said, it's a weapon I'm making, therefore it's going to be of a level of control that I demand of everything I work with. As far as I'm concerned, everything mechanical that I've ever made has been an extension of me. This will be no different.
You're essentially enslaving a biological creature.
Correct. And that's why
That
I've
makes you
come
no
to
different
ask.
from-
Correct. But I already knew that. You know I don't give too much of a shit either way, which is why I'm asking for the ethical opinion before I go and do it.
Let's call that one option B. For blub.
Hydrate.
Can we just... Are we allowed to use blubs? Can we please agree on using blubs? It'll make me happy.
They're too uncontrollable on their own. I wouldn't want to have them released without some form of restraint.
It's not like they breed like rabbits.
We've got a minimum of a week until the ship is refueled, right? Then we'd also have to travel to another system to get the blubs, because we have one on the ship. That's it.
Blossom's fast.
I wouldn't need particularly many. I'd probably only need 5 or 6 to be able to make some seriously dangerous creatures.
Yes, but it's something that we don't have to do at the moment, and I can look at other avenues, and I won't be completely occupied dealing and looking after you while I'm dealing with the other things. So
I'm
let
not
me
sure
look at
I
some
like
other
your use of the
avenues
word
first.
I.
Again, as I said, Charles, if you can find a new way to become more powerful and get closer to God, go ahead. It's Loki's decision how he uses it.
Well,
Like I
we've
said-
been going in circles for a while.
I'm not saying no to it. We table it.
Well,
Come up with other possible options.
well, I think that's my input done either way. I really need to get some food because of this fucking diabetes. Fuck's sake. For all the fucking things to happen, what is fucking...
Oh, that's right. As I walk over, I slap you on the shoulder, and you feel warmth run into your shoulder as I cure it.
Wait, you could have just fucking fixed that?
I can cure genetic defects.
Jesus Christ. Alright, cool.
Sorry, I
Alright,
forgot you had it.
I'm just gonna.
I was busy.
You can see he's vaguely irritated, but pleased that it's no longer a problem. And he's just gonna walk into the fridges, grab a slab of meat, probably straight from the freezer, and bring it back, just eating it raw in front of you.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. I'm fucking
Really
starving.
Yeah.
On that note, is Spark still in the room?
Yeah, he
I
has
basic.
he has a terrible hand though.
Yeah, I basically look over at him. I'm like, if you ever want that fixed, just come talk to me. As I walk back into my room, because I'm like, I need to like look at some other things.
I'll glance over, look at Charles leaving, and then look back to Sparks.
And if you ever want it really fixed, come talk to me.
Sparks like looks back and forth between the two options and goes, which side to pick? Oh. He's genuinely having a hard time with that one.
So Charles is basically just going to go sit back in his room, start researching everything, all the information that they took off the last time we removed a implant,
Mm-hmm.
like positioning information, everything like that. He's going to have that up, and at the same time, he's going to pull out his phone and check it for the first time.
Okay. You have 5 missed messages from your mother.
Right. I
I've gotta
open
go,
the
guys.
one with the
Bye-bye.
latest date. Oh, see ya.
Yeah. Mikhail has to step away, but it's okay.
Sorry.
It's all good. We'll see you next time. What did you say, Charles?
I opened the message with the latest date on it. Like not the latest, the first message that I got from her.
Okay. So are you gonna play through them in order?
Yes.
Okay. So the first one would probably have arrived 3 months ago, or been sent around that time, and it's Charles. I still haven't heard back from you in regards to your intent to be joining us for Christmas. Your father has unfortunately been rather preoccupied with his assignment off world and won't be joining us. But I know that the extended family from Gunhild were planning on paying us a visit. I'm sure they would all love to see you. Please get back to me soon.
I'm just like sit there, sigh for a bit, pick up my glass, down what's left in it, pour myself another, and play the next message.
Okay. Charles, I'm really not sure what you're getting up to or where you are, but my messages should be getting through to you. It is the 10th of December. You should have been able to make it home from most anywhere in the sector by now. I'm not sure of your priorities, but I'm growing a bit disappointed that family is not one of them.
I'm just gonna keep. I press play again.
Okay. Charles, it seems you'll be missing Christmas this year. I got you such a nice present. Ah, well.
I just press play on the next one while I'm
Okay.
drinking the glass.
Charles, this is getting very petty. I understand that you might be upset that your father's gone away, but there is no reason to take it out on me. I'm just trying to do what's best for the family, my career, and all of that. You don't need to shut me out. I am just trying to to to. I am trying, Charles. You missed Christmas dinner. It was actually good this time, I promise.
Sure.
Please call me back. You have one more.
You just sort of sit there for a second,
Ah.
and like, she's never gonna believe my excuse as I press
Mhm.
play on the next one.
Well, it's February. 4 months, Charles. It's been 4 months. Oh no!
Oh, who was the Chris?
I thought I taught you better than this, Charles. Honestly, pretty disrespectful behavior. Don't expect a warm welcome when you return. I require an explanation for this extended leave of absence. Your research shouldn't be this demanding. It shouldn't take you this far away from me. You said I would hear from you regularly. So she's not pleased. Is the main takeaway from this?
Yep.
You've dealt with this before from her. She is doing her best to keep her cool, but the last time you were in a situation like this was when the planet that your practice was on was wrecked by monsters, and the planetary com system was down for a few weeks, and she was thoroughly irate when you finally made it back home that you had been out of communications range for that long. She accepted that you were traveling farther away and would be more difficult to reach, but she's going to be much less politely angry the next time you see her, is your best guess.
It's one of those things of, do I message her back or do I make things worse?
Well, it's
Just
been 4
believe
months.
what I'm saying. Sorry, I got stuck in a fucking time bubble that decided that it was going to fuck me over for 4 months.
Yes.
I will be writing her a message and I will send it to you
Okay, I appreciate that.
while getting distracted looking at all the information that's coming in from the last surgery that there was.
Yeah. 4 new editions of Space Doctor Monthly. I don't know. There must be some snappy sci-fi name for that publication. But yeah. So, Lucky, you have been put in a very challenging situation. The weight of your station is pressing down upon you, and Lucia asks if you are willing to step away from the conversation and have a more private exchange, captain to captain.
Yeah, I think I need some time to think anyway, so...
Okay. She leads you to the gym.
kind of private conversation.
Hmm?
That's all good. I was being silly.
She approaches like the internal gym configuration and dials in the basketball option, and just like a panel on the wall opens, and a hoop slides out, and the ball the ball was just kind of cradled in the net just goes, and she catches it and just like tosses the ball towards you.
So, what's up? He'll dribble a little bit.
Yeah. She's like, she's playing defense while talking. She says, "Look, you and I both know where this is going. Someone going to have to make impossible choice, because this is impossible situation. You have received good option, several good option, and I am concerned that by hoping that better option will present itself, you are simply dragging heels and trying to bide for time."
No. I'm not satisfied that we've got the best option yet.
What could be better?
I'm not sure yet. But all of these options presented so far have high risk of loss of life or self-sacrifice. And they're looking to me to make that decision. I want to make sure I've got every possible option on the board before I make that decision.
You have biological warfare. Could be bad. You have EMP. Could be bad. You have blub. Could be bad. You have, I know it was skimmed over, but full frontal military assault. Obviously, very bad. Other option: stealth incursion, attack from hack. Actually,
Hack won't work. He's too adaptive for that.
are you sure?
Especially if he's got more of a power source at him. It's control.
I have been the one who has been managing to get through to Tazi. She not been great a conversationalist, but I have put things together. I feel like a multi-prong attack could work if you were able to rob Dotak of power source and simultaneously plug in that weird box she play with. Then Dotak not have time to reconnect to onboard ship power, and would then be low on power, low on processing, and then get accosted by hack. It would probably sacrifice box, but still.
Now I know why you pulled me aside.
No one in there would accept that level of risk.
And I'm the only one who could ask her to make that sacrifice.
Da.
I think the stealth option's the best, personally. But contingencies and distractions are definitely a good idea. I also want to try something, but I just don't know if it will work.
Yeah?
I've got an idea for a weapon, but I'll need the combined brains of 2 artificial intelligences, I think, to make sure it works.
Well, She attempts to take the ball from you. She fails.
Tactics roll.
She will like like battling a lot on the dice.
Yeah, he's gonna just dribble around and shoot for hoop from afar.
Okay. Swish. Damn. Okay. What's your plan?
Well, we know Zotek likes his nanites. Thinking he likes to make forms out of them. I'm thinking if we go for a infiltration to try this box idea, we're gonna come up against a few more of those big ass blob machine things of them.
Yeah?
We needed a way to render them useless quickly and fairly silently. I'm thinking something disrupts the bonds between them. Also, be right back 1 sec. I can still hear you and talk.
Okay. How that work exactly? They tiny robots, so it like they have lots of like tiny feet all connected. This one downside of us having like high concepts science meeting when neither one of us high concept scientists. I not understand how that
From
would
what
work.
I understand, they use some kind of magnetic bond to hold themselves together. I could be wrong on that, but
I
that's what
thought
seemed to be happening.
that EMP. So you want to make EMP gun?
Kind of. Not quite. I want to completely fry those circuits rather than just turn them off. But something that will spread along the lines. Kind of like a massive electric overload rather than just shut down.
How you get enough power for that?
That's what the AI is going to work out for me.
Ah. Interesting. I see you
If you
have
don't know
options.
how to science, you get someone who does.
That is true.
I just come up with the ideas of how to blow stuff up. I know what I'm about.
And I love it. Swish. She gets a shot in.
Son of a bitch.
So, who best minds for this? You mentioned 2 AI. You got Pim.
And we got nucleus.
Ah. You think they can help with this?
I hope so. It understands vastly different power sources than we understand.
Right. We're going to get Sun. You want to use fusion?
Look, if I can use the power of a sun to take this fucker out, I'll bloody do it.
Oh. Correct me if wrong, but no one been reckless enough to put fusion reaction in gun before.
And that's why it's such a brilliant idea. And let's face it, I'm reckless enough to do it.
Are you able to survive?
That's a secondary concern.
So, you want to approach stealth. You want not full frontal assault. You want to get in quick and quiet.
Full frontal assault, we won't win. We don't have the manpower for it.
What's stopping you from using Jin plan as well?
That's what I'm saying. Distraction's not a bad idea.
So, you say yes to Jin. You go get Blab. Gives you more time to prepare a crazy weapon and improve plan.
The biggest problem is the longer we take, the more time he has to get ready for whatever it is we're gonna do.
Yeah. If you take the time to get Blab, I guarantee that there will be reinforcements waiting for us.
For all we know, there already are.
Not yet, but
By
soon.
the time we get back. Wonder what the communications array is like on this thing. Wonder if we could get some more real-time information from Harbona.
You want FTL comms across systems? That's not feasible.
Not from us, but maybe from this thing.
Interesting.
We only know a fraction of what this thing is capable of.
All you can do is ask.
Worth a shot. So wish.
Ah! Damn it! Fine. You win this one. I need to go and check on the bridge.
What would you do
Me?
if you were calling the shots?
If I was calling shots, I'd not have moral hang-ups of Jin about EMP. It's true. There would be people who die, but I would be prepared to accept that responsibility. Is quick, is clean, high chance of success, and can then be followed up by a more effective military strike with very little resistance.
Well, you don't know if he's got a way of protecting against it, though. If I was him, I would have found a way. Or done everything I could to.
You're
I
right.
saw how effective it was against him last time.
Well,
I don't want to put all our eggs in one basket. We need multiple options.
well then.
I think as much as Jin hates it, it is a good option. And again, another distraction. If it doesn't work. And
It's
if
true.
he thinks that it is our primary option, and he thinks we've failed on that, then that gives us more of the element of surprise to get in.
I do get the impression that as much as Dotak respect you as rival, he's super arrogant.
Extremely, which I think will definitely work for us, but he is also cunning as well.
Having multiple contingencies and options is good. Unfortunately, Dotak probably good enough that you have to build actual EMP and not just pretend one. Otherwise, he not to believe.
Yeah, and we've got a week to do it.
And you have some of Harbona and Yakootah's sharpest minds on board. You better get to work. And she walks out.
As she's walking out, kind of more to himself than anything else. It's just... We need a bloody big factory.
Indeed.
And he's just gonna swish a hoop.
Ah, yeah, 3 points.
Hearing that, he's gonna pull out his gun and just like aim it at the speaker, and just like
And then you hit him.
put the gun back away.
Mm-hmm. Pim will just go,
Lucky.
don't you dare.
What are you doing? Lucky? No.
Okay.
That's a conversation I really
Haha,
don't
we
wanna
summoned him.
have.
Haha.
Mm-hmm.
You break speaker, I break you.
He's going to take the long way to the Gloved Molotov,
Oh no!
trying to contemplate what the hell he's going to say.
Mm-hmm. Okay. While that's happening,
Ow.
Sorry about that, guys. Emergency came at home, and I'm back.
all good? Oh, I got the message. Charles? God damn. That's very good. Okay. I believe Jin was going off to do something, was he not? I don't recall.
I'm eating a shitload of food because he's recognizing that what he's doing is pretty fucking suicidal. So he's going to enjoy the most of the Milan's food reserves.
Okay.
I'm gonna bust out the cured chicken that I.
Why is it like not fresh?
I was experimenting with cured meats.
No, it's good, I think.
I wanted to see if I could preserve this piece with liquid nitrogen. Turns out, not so much.
I mean, it's crunchy, and he bites down on like a pile of bone.
Don't do that. Like raw meat, crunchy. What the fuck?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. That's gross.
Yeah,
That's
crunchy.
gross.
It's
gross.
it's crunchy if you eat bones as well.
I have so many regrets.
You just got rid of diabetes. Now you're gonna have salmonella?
Nah, he's roll for botulism.
Gin, it's organic. He's fine.
Blech.
Deary me. I think Christian's having some tech issues. Oh! Yeah.
Welcome back.
There we go.
Welcome
Who's
back.
Was Catalina going to be up to much more?
Catalina still has a lot of catching up to do with her family, but in general, she's taken a step back in all of this.
Okay. I feel like the large majority of the NPCs left in the rec room. So you're in there with
They're still
You're-
listening to the blood jingle.
yeah. So you're in there with your dad, your surrogate dad, your surrogate mum, your sister, your surrogate grandma, and your surrogate brother.
First thing she does is walk over to Sparks, take the watch off her wrist, and goes, I made some improvements, but I think it's time I get this back.
He takes it. You know, this is just awful.
What? I did my best, okay? I'm not you. I don't make miracles happen.
Your best was terrible. What did you do?
I had limited resources, okay?
You had limited resources. I was literally underground.
Sparks, say thank you, or I'm going to even out your arms.
Underground, we were in the frickin' core.
I can fix that.
Thank you, Catalina, for
Yeah,
your effort.
Yeah, no, even it out. That way I get to fix one and Charles gets to fix one and we can have a dick measuring contest.
Oh my god!
Look,
Say no more.
look, all I'm going to say is Diamond Rain is kind of lethal, okay?
What do you mean, Diamond Rain? Did you bring me some?
I'm sorry, I was not trying to shovel my pockets while not dying.
You went somewhere with Diamond Rain, and you not think, diamond may be worth a bit of money. Oh my god, Catalina!
You know what? No, okay, no, none of this. Sparks, you will come with me to the Blossom later. You can speak to Nucleus. If you wish to visit that stupid biome sphere that they have created, you're welcome to. Actually, there's some really cool rock people. They're kind of terrifying. Don't go near the babies. They like to just throw
How
things.
dare you?
What? Pim!
One of those rock people is a part of our family, Catalina.
I was not insulting them. They're kind of scary. They're, big and could probably crush me with between two fingers.
But they have delicate personalities.
I suppose I have only example of baby.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Okay. Thanks,
Bless
Pim.
you twice. Thrice.
Thank you. It's okay, Catalina. I'm just being a bit snarky, you know? It's me! I fold. He tosses down his hand of cards to the librarian, and she goes, read them and weep.
I'm gonna turn off the mirror that was showing his cards.
The librarian looks up at you, Catalina, and says, it's good to see you. It is good to see you, Catalina. Have you been respecting the books?
There have been no books where I am, but yes.
And yet, you have 5 overdue.
No, I returned them all. Didn't I?
She cracks a smile.
Ah! You know I should know. I never take the books from the library. I cannot believe you got me with this one. And she leaned down and gives the librarian a hug.
She will hug back. At this point, Annie interjects and goes, so, okay, Papa, you would not believe how great it is to see him opening up again. I'm so excited that he is actually socializing and conversing. He was hermit, right? You remember? He was honestly gross.
Duh.
He's still kind of gross.
What happened? How did they become so close?
That close, and you just see Ivan yell, I put you in ground. I put entire junk pile of workshop in ground. You are mess. You are, and yeah.
Can a Pim be mimicking him?
Yes.
Sweet.
She's like, duh. I have not seen Ivan this animated by another person for a very long time. Except for when he was angry at me for destroying his clothes. Happened quite often.
Has the emotional range of spoon.
It's honestly quite impressive. I feel like they kindred spirits. I do my best to get Papa to open up. I managed to get him to leave garage. I not get him. I was not able to get him to go into the house though. But he was willing to spend more time going to market, going around and talking to people. It worked.
And now he
And
is
then
here.
we got a lot of refugees from Yakootah. Things got things got a bit tense for a while, but after everything went off and things got strange, and they were calling to staff the Milan, he made a decision. He said, if my little Lena is going to be anywhere, when she gets back, she's going to return to that ship, and so the two of us are going to go there, and this family will be as whole as possible. And it seems that your friends from Yakootah have similar thoughts. They come up to the Milan as well with the hopes to be here for you.
These are all good people.
You bring out the best in them.
I just do my best. Auntie. And she like looks around the room and goes, "Not here. Come with me."
Okay.
And she takes Annie to her room, which is over here.
Okay. Oh, it's cozy. She curls up on the bed, grabs a pillow, and just like, okay, go.
Annie? Okay. When did I ask? I'm pretty sure I asked Ava to get a message to my mum. Was that before we went or after we went? It was
I think
after.
After, yes. Because your mum hibernated. I don't know how. She went underground with the Zaza for their birthing cycle.
Oh, pardon me. Annie,
No?
I make no promises, but the AI upon the ship, the Blossom, is capable of genetic modification. I think possibly between Dr. Charles and Nucleus's machine, we could restore Mama back to herself if she wished.
Oh my god, that's so exciting!
If she wish. This
What?
is why I don't say in front of anyone else.
What do you mean if she wish? Is she going to wish? Once this all done, war over, peace, Habona, Yakootah are lovely, very happy. There's no need for her to be that entrenched in the Zaza anymore. She can come back.
But it has been her life for many years now. We don't know that. We cannot assume this. We can hope that this is the case.
Okay.
But just in case.
I respect that. You talk to Nucleus, you get option, you feel it out, you make offer to Mama. Maybe she want to come home.
But I wanted to let you know. I just
Thank
don't know
you.
how Papa would react if this should happen.
He's. I always have a hard time bringing up Mama with him. I've been forced to avoid subject. He always looks so sad.
Yeah. So... we keep it secret for now, but... I think it's possible.
Okay.
Dr. Charles can regrow limbs.
There it goes. Okay.
And restore bodies. And if there is any genetic issue, Nucleus should be able to fix.
I don't think it was genetic. I thought the issue was Mama's body too far gone. If someone tried to heal, first you have to take out Cyberware, and Cyberware keeping her alive.
I think between Doctor and Nucleus, they could probably make something work.
I hope so.
I will talk to Nucleus and find out.
Okay. I'll keep this to myself. And I mean it. I know I'm an incorrigible gossip, but I will keep this to myself.
I will believe it when it happens, Annie.
Okay.
Then she goes over and leaps on the bed and gives her sister a tackle hug.
As you're like tackle hugging, she says, "Can I tell like one person?"
Bоже moj. Annie!
I kid, it's fine.
You can talk to Ava if you wish. If you must
Ava?
speak to someone, you can speak to Ava. I asked Ava
She-
to get a message to Mama.
Okay. That is fine. She's very good at keeping secrets.
Duh, she has to be.
And kind of scary, you know?
Would you
Ava
like
is-
me to tell you Ava's location so you can speak to her?
Pim, you must keep this secret too!
I can talk to Pim about this! Oh my god, Pim, it's such exciting news!
Oh?
Duh, you can speak to Pim, but Pim must promise to keep it quiet until we are ready to share.
I would zip my lips if I had any.
But Annie, let me tell you now, Ava is one of the most formidable women I have ever met. She is incredible.
And she has a tattoo in a provocative area.
Would Catalina know about the tattoo?
That is an excellent question.
I can roll for it if you like.
Yeah, what's the appropriate skill for this? One sec. Make me a luck save. I'd say that's appropriate.
Culture
So
Ava.
a d20, and you're trying to beat your luck.
I think I know. I got a 19.
Okay. So you have seen Ava in like various stages of like quick change on dress because of like
Missions
the-
and stuff.
all the missions and the spy shenanigans, and she as a spy needs to be not really that recognizable. So if she's gonna have any tattoo, it's gonna be somewhere very out of the way, not likely to be seen on any mission. She has a tattoo.
It's
On
somewhere cheeky, isn't it? It's
It is.
somewhere cheeky.
it was on her left butt cheek,
Ah,
but she would almost always keep it concealed with makeup. The one time that you got any indication that it was there at all is when the makeup failed and it was smudged, and you just saw a vague tattoo impression under the makeup. So you know where it is, but don't know exactly what it looks like.
Okay, so Catalina will be like, oh, yeah, she does. I forgot about this. Wait,
where did
Pim,
you see it
how
located?
do you know?
Well, I'm curious as to how you know. I have eyes in every single room to make sure nobody hurts themselves, and I don't exactly have what you would call perversion. Why would you know?
Because when we are on mission, we do like quick change of character, costume character. You know, like persona.
Are you telling me you roleplay with Ava?
No, Pim.
I
That
am
is.
just winding you up.
She is like mother figure, Pim.
Ah, I appear to have stumbled upon an awkward situation.
It's okay. It's just very uncomfortable to think like this.
Yes, well, it's not every day you get to see your mother's thigh.
Little higher.
Was it on the butt?
Duh, but you didn't hear that from me.
One moment. Ava,
Yes, Pim?
you still haven't told me about the tattoo on your butt cheek.
Sorry. Ava is actually coughing now. What did you... Pim!
Elementary, my dear Ava. Elementary.
She's she's still in the room trying to calm Felix and Ivan and looks back and forth between the two of them.
No, I feel like both of them would have like absolutely just stopped what they were doing. Excuse me?
Felix looks confused. Ivan does not blanch.
Ivan probably knows.
Yes, he does.
Oh my. Scandalous. At which point you just see the from Pim signing off. Well, dude's bored a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta get
Also,
hits in him.
he makes all the outfits.
Ah, true.
Okay. Now, I am tempted to move towards drawing the session towards a bit of a close. However, I was wondering, Ash, did you want to play out the? No.
I will need time to think of how Loki is going to approach this.
Okay, that's fair. Is there anything that people were hoping to get into this evening? Because it's 10:30. I feel like we've had a wonderful jump back into these characters. The stakes have been made clear. Everybody has a lot to think about. I'm sure people's role-playing brains are going to be going crazy throughout the week.
Now I
Oh,
have to
what
work.
if we did this?
Now I have to work out what the hell's going on in Darius's core at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got to
Yes.
try and figure out how I'm going to control blobs, you know?
Mm-hmm. With Jin.
You guys are coming through robotic. Is everything okay?
Beep boop. Yeah, I think it's just you.
Mm.
Might be your internet.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so at this point, to all and sundry watching, I think this is a good place to draw the session to a close. It's been wonderful being able to return to this.
For the sake of brevity, I'll just say Catalina does spend some time catching up with all of her significant relevant peoples. But
Oh, yeah.
we don't need to converse all of that.
No, I'm glad that I was able to play out some of that. But yeah, it's just good to. And if nothing else, I enjoyed getting to be Arnie. She's fun.
I liked being able to play the character that Catalina becomes when she's around her sister, which
Yeah.
is like a sister. That gossip, sisterly shenanigans, nonsense.
Good times.
Great classic kids.
Go 104.3. Anyway, to Twitch, and to find us some people upon which to raid.
Mm-hmm.
We have Turn-Based Dave playing Crisis Core, Wisdom Sage playing Dungeons & Dragons, Scripted playing Dungeons & Dragons,
Grip.
and It's Fate's Grip playing Dungeons & Dragons.
Well, let's see if anyone's playing just generic tabletop.
That's
Someone
true.
in Japanese.
Paladin's Archives is also playing. And Polished Cryptid.
Yeah. Not many people playing tabletop RPGs, so D&D is looking like a good category.
Yes.
Alright, well, we haven't read Polished in a while.
Yeah,
Oh, pardon me, so we'll give them a rate.
for sure.
Thank you to everyone who came to hang out tonight in the audience to come and watch. It's been a little while for us to get back to the game, but it felt good.
Yeah. more consistent playing. And if any of you are as players are planning on doing any diabolical scheming of like making things,
Yes.
we can figure out how that goes potentially in between sessions. Just tell me if you're trying to make a thing. If it's something that I think doesn't require being played out, I can just like say yes, no, maybe all that jazz, just to make things more efficient.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Next time this channel shall be live, though, it will be Sunday. Wait, Ash, were we going to be able to play this next Sunday, or no? I've forgotten.
I feel like
I believe it
this-
is still a
this
possibility.
Sunday is okay. The Sunday after is Christmas, which we probably
Yeah,
can.
Sunday after is a definite
Yes.
no-no, but this one is a maybe at the moment. We're still
Okay.
looking at it.
So we got a possibility.
Jesus, we're that close already.
Yeah,
Wow.
no.
We
jeez.
are. It's crazy.
Don't remind me.
Mhm.
I hate it.
I need to buy gifts.
Bar fucking humbug.
Fa la 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 la.
Okay, I've done as much as Christmas be possible. I have red nails with egg on them.
Ooh, very nice.
That's it. That's all you're getting. That's my Christmas. I'm not
See-
wearing no fucking Santa hat, and I'm not doing any of that.
I
got
dress
red-
up for Christmas, and that's all you get from me.
See, I dress up for Halloween, but we're not allowed to.
Why not?
It's just the business is boring and stupid.
That's a shame. So, shall we raid?
Indeed, we shall. Thank you, everyone, for coming to watch. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to pop us over to our end screen. Enjoy it thoroughly. It took me a lot of time and effort to make. And we will catch you at our next stream. Hopefully Sunday. If not, it'll be next Tuesday. And who knows after that. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. And we're going to raid Polish Cryptid. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one. Have a good night, guys. Toodaloo.
Bye-bye.
Bye.